Tell me about your experience in recruitment.
I have 3 years of experience in recruitment, where I specialize in the technology and IT sectors. My experience involves sourcing candidates, conducting interviews, and matching them with the right roles. I've also worked closely with hiring managers to understand their needs and provide them with top talent. In my previous role, I successfully placed candidates in positions ranging from entry-level to senior leadership roles, ensuring a good fit for both the candidates and the clients.
What do you think are the most important skills for a recruitment consultant?
I believe the most important skills for a recruitment consultant are strong communication, negotiation, and interpersonal skills. You need to be able to build relationships with both clients and candidates. Good problem-solving skills are essential, as you often need to address challenges when sourcing or placing candidates. Being organized and detail-oriented helps in managing multiple recruitment processes efficiently.
How do you source candidates?
I use a combination of methods to source candidates, including LinkedIn, job boards like Indeed and Glassdoor, referrals, and internal databases. I also attend industry events and network within relevant professional groups. I'm always exploring creative ways to tap into passive candidates, ensuring I have access to the best talent pool. Additionally, I tailor my search strategies based on the client's needs and the specific requirements of the role.
Describe a time when you had to fill a difficult position. How did you handle it?
I was once tasked with filling a highly specialized technical role for a client, and it was challenging because the required skill set was rare. I expanded my search beyond the usual job boards and leveraged niche industry networks, reaching out to professionals in similar roles at other companies. After several weeks of persistent searching, I found a highly qualified candidate who had the technical expertise, as well as the soft skills the client was looking for. I stayed in regular contact with both the client and candidate to ensure that the process moved smoothly, and eventually, the candidate was hired.
How do you build and maintain relationships with clients?
Building and maintaining relationships is a key part of recruitment. I make sure to understand each client's business, culture, and hiring needs so that I can provide them with candidates who are the right fit. I communicate regularly with clients to update them on the recruitment process, ask for feedback, and ensure they are satisfied with the candidates I provide. I also check in with clients after the placement to ensure the candidate is adjusting well and meeting expectations, which helps to build long-term trust.
How do you deal with rejection, either from candidates or clients?
Rejection is a natural part of the recruitment process. When a candidate is rejected, I ensure that I provide constructive feedback to help them improve and stay motivated for future opportunities. When a client rejects a candidate, I take the opportunity to understand what didn't work and refine my search criteria for the next round. I always try to stay positive and use rejection as a learning experience to improve my approach moving forward.
How do you ensure you meet targets or deadlines?
To meet targets and deadlines, I prioritize my tasks and stay organized. I create a daily to-do list and break down each task into manageable steps. I also use CRM systems to track progress and keep both clients and candidates updated. If I know I have multiple positions to fill in a short period, I make sure to allocate sufficient time for sourcing, screening, and communicating with candidates. Regular check-ins and proactive communication help me stay on track and ensure deadlines are met.
What would you do if a client requests a candidate who doesn't fully meet the job requirements?
If a client requests a candidate who doesn't fully meet the job requirements, I would first have a conversation with them to clarify which skills are absolutely essential and which can be developed on the job. If the client is open to it, I may present candidates who are close to the ideal profile but possess the potential to grow into the role. If the client insists on a very specific candidate profile, I would have a transparent discussion about the challenges in finding such a candidate and work with them to adjust expectations or timelines accordingly.
Why do you want to work with our company?
I've researched your company, and I'm impressed by your reputation in the industry and your commitment to providing high-quality recruitment services. I align with your values of integrity and professionalism, and I believe my skills in tech recruitment would allow me to contribute to your team and help your clients find the best talent. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with a team that values excellence and customer satisfaction, and I believe this would be a great environment for me to further develop my skills.
How do you keep yourself motivated during a slow period or when facing challenges in the recruitment process?
During slow periods, or when facing challenges, I focus on the bigger picture and remind myself of past successes. I set small, achievable goals and celebrate when I meet them, which helps keep me motivated. I also use slow periods as an opportunity to improve my skills, whether by attending training sessions, reading industry news, or refining my sourcing techniques. Staying positive, proactive, and focused on continuous improvement helps me stay motivated during tough times.
How do you approach screening resumes and assessing candidates' suitability?
When screening resumes, I first look for key qualifications that match the job description. I focus on relevant skills, experience, and education, but also take into account the candidate's career progression, gaps in employment, and any specialized skills or certifications. I then follow up with a phone interview or video call to assess the candidate's soft skills, personality, and cultural fit. This helps me ensure that the candidate not only meets the technical requirements, but will also integrate well into the client's team.
How do you handle multiple job openings at the same time?
Handling multiple job openings requires excellent time management and organizational skills. I prioritize based on urgency and the complexity of the role. I use task management tools and a CRM to track progress on each job and candidate. I break down my tasks into daily or weekly goals, such as sourcing candidates, conducting interviews, and following up with clients. Regular communication with clients and candidates is also key to ensuring nothing falls through the cracks.
What strategies do you use to build a talent pool for future hiring needs?
Building a talent pool is a continuous process. I maintain relationships with candidates I've placed in the past or have come across but didn't quite fit for the current roles. I stay connected through regular check-ins or by sending updates about new job opportunities. I also create and share job alerts or newsletters to keep passive candidates engaged. Additionally, I use networking, social media, and industry events to stay in touch with professionals who may be a good fit for future positions.
Tell us about a time you had to manage a difficult client. How did you handle the situation?
I once worked with a client who had very specific requirements for a role but was constantly changing the job specifications during the recruitment process. To manage the situation, I set up a meeting to clarify exactly what they needed in a candidate and to agree on non-negotiables. I also discussed realistic timelines and explained how any changes could affect the search. By being transparent and communicating regularly, we reached an understanding, and I was able to find the right candidate, despite the shifting requirements.
What do you do when a candidate turns down a job offer?
If a candidate turns down a job offer, I first try to understand the reason. It could be anything from salary expectations to concerns about the company culture. I then communicate this feedback to the client so they can address any issues, whether that means improving the offer or clarifying certain aspects of the role. I maintain an open line with the candidate, letting them know that we value their feedback and are open to finding a mutually beneficial solution. In some cases, I work to find an alternative role for the candidate if the initial opportunity doesn't align with their goals.
How do you stay updated with trends in the recruitment industry?
I regularly read industry blogs, newsletters, and recruitment-related publications like Recruitment International and OnRec. I also attend webinars, workshops, and conferences to network with other professionals and stay updated on best practices. I follow relevant LinkedIn groups and connect with fellow consultants to share insights and experiences. Additionally, I monitor developments in technology and tools that are shaping recruitment, such as applicant tracking systems, ATS, and AI-driven sourcing tools.
How would you handle a situation where you have multiple high-priority positions to fill but limited resources?
In situations with multiple high-priority roles, I would first assess the specific needs and deadlines for each position. I would prioritize based on urgency and client needs, ensuring I focus on the most critical roles first. I would also delegate tasks where possible, perhaps asking team members to assist with parts of the process, like initial candidate screenings or interview scheduling. Using an organized approach and clear communication with both clients and candidates will help manage expectations and avoid delays.
How do you ensure diversity and inclusion when sourcing candidates?
Ensuring diversity and inclusion is critical in the recruitment process. I make sure to reach out to a wide variety of job boards, networks, and platforms, including those that cater specifically to underrepresented groups. I also ensure that job descriptions are written inclusively, avoiding language that may unintentionally discourage certain groups from applying. Throughout the screening process, I focus on the candidate's qualifications and potential, ensuring that the final shortlist is diverse and based on merit rather than unconscious bias.
What are the most common reasons candidates drop out of the recruitment process, and how do you handle it?
The most common reasons candidates drop out are usually related to salary expectations, a mismatch between the role and their career goals, or receiving a better offer from another company. To mitigate this, I make sure to set clear expectations from the start, including salary ranges and job responsibilities. Throughout the process, I keep candidates engaged and informed about each step. If a candidate expresses concerns, I address them promptly and work to find solutions or adjustments that may keep them interested in the role.
How do you handle confidential information during the recruitment process?
Confidentiality is crucial in recruitment. I ensure that all candidate information is stored securely and only shared with authorized parties within the client's organization. I also ensure that any personal or sensitive information provided by candidates is kept private unless they give explicit consent to share it. I'm aware of data protection laws, such as GDPR, and follow best practices to ensure compliance. I maintain a high level of professionalism and transparency throughout the recruitment process.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing recruitment consultants today?
One of the biggest challenges facing recruitment consultants today is the increasing competition for talent. With the rise of remote work, the talent pool has become more global, but at the same time, many industries are facing skills shortages. This requires recruiters to be highly proactive in sourcing candidates and to build strong relationships with both clients and candidates. Additionally, the integration of technology such as AI in the recruitment process is both a challenge and an opportunity to streamline processes and improve candidate matches.